Hello to you. I'm Vin Ebenau. Welcome to another episode of Eyes on the Jersey Shore, where we speak with government leaders, law enforcement, and community leaders, and the people really making a difference at the Jersey Shore, including the person I'm with today, Andrea Verdone Gorsegner, who is going to be riding on a Peloton, not just for 20 minutes or a half hour or an hour, like, a lot of you might do for a typical workout. She's going 24 hours straight through this Saturday from her house in Middletown, but it's all for a good cause and everything. I mean, she's not just doing it just to really get in good shape and everything. But Andrea, thanks for taking out some time and doing this and working towards a great cause. We're going to get all into it here. So I'm the founder, president of Infinite Love for Kids, So thanks for taking out some time to discuss your mission coming up.
Thank you for making the time. I really appreciate it. It's the people like you who carve out these segments for the small foundations that really helped us give a boost. So thanks.
So 24 hours. I mean, that was one of the things that stood out to me the most. You do a typical workout on a given day and everything. Okay, you feel good. And some people feel exhausted after a half hour, an hour, especially the more rigorous cardio workouts. So before we get into the reasons why, I just really want to ask off the bat here is, how much training did you have to do to get yourself prepared for this from a physical standpoint, building up the endurance, riding the bike, getting yourself mentally and physically prepared for a long bike ride?
Right. Well, so I bought my Peloton last spring at the height of COVID. Like many other people, I was just looking for a way to get some exercise in. So I had been riding the bike daily. But once we decided to do this fundraiser, and that was in the fall, I was like, all right, I'm going to have to start doing not just my daily rides, but doing rides just where I'm sitting on the bike riding for like an hour, watching Netflix, like nothing, nothing crazy, not breaking my, cadence up to the hundreds or anything. And then right around Thanksgiving, I started having issues with my foot. Long story short, I had surgery a year ago exactly, and it never healed correctly. So as it is, when I take a normal Peloton ride, one of the classes, usually within about 10 minutes, the foot starts to go numb. So it's not comfortable. But around Thanksgiving, I had to actually stop riding for a good solid month. So I just started back on the bike a few weeks ago, which does not bode well for me. So, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm going to do my best because in my mind, even though I don't really have the proper training for this, my inspiration is all these kids who are fighting cancer. I mean, my daughter, we're one of the lucky ones. She's 11 years old now. She fought high-risk acute lymphoblastic leukemia at a diagnosis when she was 3, and was in treatment for about 2 years. So I'm thinking of all these kids because the amount of pain that they go through for years, it's nothing in comparison to the discomfort that I'm going to feel, so I'm trying to keep them in my mind, and I'm going to do my best. If I'm going to stop to use the bathroom. People have been asked, that's like the number one question. I'm going to try to eat meals on the bike. But the really kind of beautiful thing is through all this, people have been reaching out saying, hey, I live in California. If you need a tag out for an hour in the middle of the night, contact me and I'll tag you out. And people have been saying that left and right. So I'm like, it's good to know that the Peloton community, they have my back in more ways than one, not just registering for the ride so that Infinite Love gets their donation, not just riding with me to give me that support, the high fives, everything to keep me mentally going, but then they're also physically wanting to be there for me, hopping in on an hour here and there if I find that I am like desperate to give my legs a break. Sorry, very long answer.
No, hey, it's sometimes I can only imagine how many breaks you might want to need. And the bathroom question certainly, I think, is fitting. I mean, sitting on the bike for that long, it's just got to ride on through. So you kind of touched on a couple points that I wanted to get to next in terms of the ride itself this Saturday, riding for 24 hours straight and everything. You talked about your daughter, and who is this Infinite Love for Kids for? Is it one for one particular individual, or is it for just the organization trying to raise donations and raise awareness to help out kids with cancer?
Right. So when my daughter Natalie was in treatment, one of the things that I quickly discovered was how underfunding research is for kids fighting cancer. I mean, in 25 plus years, they've only had 4 new drugs developed for any type of childhood cancer. And that's just absolutely absurd, And in talking to so many oncologists and researchers, they're like, listen, science is like technology. We have the ideas, we have some theories, but we just don't have the proper funding we need to put some of these in effect. So they really depend on not just the NIH, but also the small mom and pop foundations like ours to help keep their research labs going for different ideas. So when I discovered this, I needed an outlet during Natalie's treatment because I left my full-time job to care for her. So I just started raising money. And that was in the spring of 2013 when I started it. And fast forward 8 years, and Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer is a 501c3 charity. We've funded over $1.2 million in research to some of our nation's leading research hospitals and facilities. And we've helped dozens of families, both financially and emotionally. We make ourselves available 24/7 for, the late night text messages that some parents just need, just some emotional support. And then we've also paid utility bills, and we've built dream tree houses for, kids whose immune systems are compromised and they can't leave their backyards. And we've unfortunately paid for funerals. Basically, Infinite Love will do anything in our capacity to help children, not just where we are in New Jersey, but any family that's in need. And if we don't have the resources, we reach out to our fellow childhood cancer foundations, and we find a way to help the family. And the best part is that Infinite Love is 100% volunteer run. So every penny is going to our cause. I don't take a salary. No one on the team takes a salary. We don't have a building. So really, we might be a small mom pop foundation, but when people donate to us, they're getting every bang for their buck.
So all the money that Infinite Love for Kids raises stays in the local community and goes directly to these families that are impacted.
It does. Yep. In fact, one of the local families, a little boy, Brady, who's fighting leukemia, they're going to come visit me on Saturday.
Nice.
To, socially distance
Right.
where my bike is. It's ground level of our house, and in the room is just a wall of windows. So we're making an area where people can stand outside with the window open and I can talk to them. So it'll be great seeing them. But yeah, we do everything we can to support these families because, unfortunately my family knows what it's like to, be in their shoes.
So the ride on Saturday, the money's going to Brady and his family?
No, the money is going to Infinite Love as a whole.
Okay.
And then we will use that money to continue helping families, whether, sometimes a family reaches out to us and they just, they need help paying a few bills. They need some grocery money. And it goes towards that. And then we also still fund research.
Now, how can people help out this Saturday? I know you sent along a couple links of how people can get involved or even watch and everything. So if people want to join you or kind of cheer you on through this 24-hour Peloton ride between Saturday morning and Sunday morning, how can they do that? And how can, above all, how can they help? Whether it's donations, whether it's just showing support, spreading awareness for Infinite Love for Kids, and kind of cheering those kids on who are battling cancer and being a supportive community for these families.
Right. So anybody who wants to take part in the Peloton fundraiser this weekend. So yes, I am going to attempt the 24-hour ride, but we're kicking it off by asking anyone who owns a Peloton to register to do the initial ride with me, which is going to be at 9:30 a.m. It's going to be to Tunde's live hip hop 30-minute class. And anyone who has a Peloton, they know what that means. They know where to go. So we're asking that they go to our website, they officially register for the ride, because that's where we're asking for a $25 donation. And we're asking them to add the hashtag Infinite Love for Kids, so that we can find each other on that ride, and just give each other high fives the whole time. But we're also telling people that you don't have to have a Peloton. I mean, if you want to ride your bike with your family in your community, go for a walk. If you have a different stationary bike, you could still register and be a part of the day, because after you register, you're going to get an email that has an Infinite Love sign that you can print out, and you can take a picture of yourself with it out in your community, pop it on up on Facebook, social media, do the hashtag Infinite Love, tag us, and then we'll know you're involved. We can compile all those pictures at the end and do a fun slideshow. Obviously throughout the day, people can hop on their Peloton and give me mental support there by giving me the high fives. But also, I'm going to be streaming this live on our Facebook page, Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer. So I'm inviting people to go to our Facebook page throughout the 24 hours, put something in the comments. I'm going to be looking at it. And it's just another way to kind of hold me accountable. But, overall, people can join, people can donate anytime. Obviously, we need the awareness, but we need the funds. We can't do what we do without the funds. And one way that we've been really kind of pushing to see if people can help in this arena is by not just donating one time. We're kind of pushing it and asking people to, again, on our website, they'll see that they can join our monthly Givers Club. And with this, it's such a great opportunity for them to say, donate $25 a month. They can see there's different levels of donations, and we send them some Infinite Love swag. But it also automatically puts them into a monthly drawing that we do, where we give away $25 Amazon gift cards. They don't even have to be on Facebook Live to see the drawing. If they pop up as a winner, we automatically send them the prize. And then when events do start up again, it gives them early ticket access to all of our events, including our gala that always sells out. It gives them discounts on raffle tickets. So they really become a part of the Infinite Love family when they choose to sign up for the monthly Givers Club. And then it gives us a sense of security, because we can see finances that are coming in and that we can depend on. So that's really, our monthly givers are what's been keeping us going during this pandemic. So we're just inviting anybody who's willing to include us in their monthly expenses, because we're a great investment.
And certainly, to go back to what we talked about at the beginning here, is certainly somebody who has seen firsthand what cancer can do to a family, especially to a child. What is your advice to other families out there, other parents, and even other kids out there battling cancer or watching their son or their daughter battle cancer right now, and in trying to find that help and find that support in the community, and certainly with your organization here?
Right. Honestly, we meet new families all the time. In fact, another family has joined our Infinite Love family last week. And the best advice I can give is just taking it one day at a time. In the beginning, when your child's diagnosed, your mind just racks through everything. Like, what did we do? Where did we go? It's just, as a parent, you instantly blame yourself. Like, there has to be a reason, because we don't have a family history. But then you realize, wait, we eat healthy. We live a good life. I don't there's just no rhyme or reason, and they don't know exactly, what starts childhood cancer in some kids. But a day at a time, because if you let yourself become obsessed with, what's going to happen in the future, it just kind of takes away those moments that you're in. And, in the same breath, not all childhood cancers are the same. There are over a dozen different types of childhood cancer. Natalie had acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is the most common form of childhood cancer. It does have an 80% survival rate, but then there are other types of cancers like rhabdomyosarcoma. Our vice president, Jim McCaffrey, and his wife, Marion, their daughter, Mia Rose, had rhabdomyosarcoma. And after a year into her fight, she unfortunately passed away in 2017. So not all cancers are created equal. And for some of these families that go into their fight with lower odds, I'm not one to be able to give them advice, because I didn't have that same experience. Like, not to downplay what we went through, but just to be real that they are not all created equally, and some families have very, very different journeys and very different unfortunate outcomes. So we just want to kind of shine a light on these kids, shine a light on these families, and I'll be introducing some of these families throughout my ride as well.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
And to touch one more time on the ride Saturday, so about 9:30 Saturday to 9:30 Sunday, and riding on the Peloton, helping raise awareness and funds for childhood cancer and infinite love for kids. Though I do have one other question along that ride. So you're done the 24 hours on the Peloton bike. Is your first move to just kind of lie on the couch and start to recover?
Yeah, I already told my family that I'm just gonna crash. I'm gonna fall asleep and crash the rest of the day. That's if I make it to the end. I don't know what the future has in store for me. Like I said, I'm gonna do my best.
Right.
If I can't accomplish it physically, if my body is just like, yeah, no, you're 44, we're done, then so be it. But I am going to give it my best shot, again, keeping these kids in mind of what they go through for years at a time, and trying to think of that every time I'm feeling as though I got to get off this bike. I'm just going to keep picturing them and just try to remember that it's just 24 hours of discomfort, as opposed to, what these children are going through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Infinite Love for Kids, fightingcancer.org, infiniteloveforkids.org. You could also follow Andrea and Infinite Love for Kids on social media. Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer on Facebook, Infinite Love for Kids, the number 4, on Twitter, as well as Instagram, or at Infinite LFKFC. Andrea, I wish you all the best this Saturday. With the endurance, with riding through 24 hours, I think this is a great thing. And I certainly think that helping out kids with cancer and families who have a kid battling cancer is a great initiative here. And I wish you all the best with
Thank you.
Well, so the best of luck this weekend, and please continue to do all the good you do for kids.
I'm actually going to throw one more thing in there, if you don't mind. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that people who are on Peloton, if they could follow me so that we can find each other more easily for support. My leaderboard name is Queen AVG. And then my VP, Jim McCaffrey, who's also going to be doing this ride, his is Make It Amazing. That's his hashtag as well. So if people can look us up and find us, that'd be great.
Thank you. All right. Thanks again, Andrea, for taking out some time this morning to give us a preview of what's to come on Saturday and Sunday morning, of course, as well, and where people can learn more about this. And please feel free to reach out anytime we could help get the word out for you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
That is Andrea Verdone Gorsegner, the founder and president of Infinite Love for Kids. She'll be riding on a Peloton this weekend for 24 hours straight, raising awareness and funds for children battling cancer. You could help, again, one more time, infiniteloveforkids.org. You could also find them on social media. Thank you, Andrea, again for your time. I'm Vin Ebenau here in the Town Square Media Jersey Shore newsroom for another episode of Eyes on the Jersey Shore.
Thank you.